Good morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 22nd, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So a lot going on this week. Please make sure to hit that like button if you're watching this. Subscribe to the channel if you do appreciate my work. Remember the power of positivity no matter the emotional times we're in. Prices are down, things look bearish. We need to look deeper. This week's going to be a little rough for me. My aunt that I've talked about a few times who had cancer passed away in the last 48 hours. So I've got to go to the funeral stuff on Tuesday and then Wednesday as well. So I'm going to be here. I'll still be here. I just don't know on Tuesday and Wednesday about the lives at night, especially Tuesday. Wednesday should be good to go because the stuff's in the morning, but Tuesday it's at night. So we'll work around that this week. But besides that, you'll still see me here present. Good, bad, or the ugly. I pride myself on being here every single day. It might be an emotional week, but other than that, we need to stay on top of this as XRP's down 967 million on the market cap. So let's start there. Down 3.26%. I hope everybody's done their due diligence and have been watching these updates. Hope everybody's been staying alert to the market and not getting over caught up by what's actually going on. These were our targets that we had after we broke down, and we talked about the 28.79 billion would be where we had to come down, and we thought that was the logical point where XRP could come back down to 534, or even if it was going to retrace more, we didn't know if it was going to come down to 27.21 billion. But in the daily, we've alleviated a lot of pressure here. It'll be even clearer today after it closes. 4 hourly, we're in oversold. 3 hourly, oversold. 2 hourly, oversold. 1 hourly, oversold. 45-minute oversold. So once all these start catching up, you know that you could be to the start of a reversal now. It's just a matter of if this is where it wants to go. We do have a pretty nice double bottom here, it looks like, right around that 28.4 billion. Now, is this the point where we're going to correct now and try to retest 31.1 billion? Or do we get rejected at 28.8 billion and have to come down even farther to 27.21 billion? When we're looking at this in every aspect, the weekly, it's in the neutral area, and if it wants to keep coming down, it very well could. But in the shorter time frames, it's going to have to alleviate pressure here shortly. Now, if the weekly does come through that 28.79 billion, the unfortunate thing is you probably wouldn't stop at 27.2, and you'd come down to the 200-day at some point. If we come down any farther, that could be a problem. It looks like we could possibly be putting in a double bottom, but if we come down again any farther, we need to get back over 30.48 billion in a hurry. Because if we have a death cross in the daily, that means we're reversing this pattern pretty harshly. But like I said, they're lagging indicators. So when you see how oversold we are in some of these time frames, yes, it can come down farther. Absolutely. But we're starting to get to a point where some kind of correction is going to be warranted. It's just going to be a matter of when. So that's the market cap. Let's see if we can come to a better interpretation here if we watch XRP's price action. So we knew the pattern formation we were in. We had this set up. We talked about it yesterday. The question was those going to come up here first, or was it going to rotate back down to support? Well, fortunately for us, it rotated back down to support. So what does that mean? Well, could mean a couple of things, to be honest. XRP could either hold that support, or we have to come back down and retest farther at about 50 cents. We won't know that. And we won't look at that structure anymore, but I wanted to show you it was there. We won't know that unless this breaks down. If this formation breaks down, well, yeah, sure, XRP's next target would be around 497. 50 cents, 497, wherever you decide to put it on that pattern. But if we hold this, which we are into the extreme, we're getting into pretty oversold here. Let's just be honest. We're pretty oversold here. Everything's in the oversold all the way. The daily time frame would likely be into the oversold as well. But now the 30's starting to rotate up. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised, even if this is bearish, if because of how oversold we are now, that XRP could find itself bouncing off of this line and possibly making a rotation back to 57. Now remember, because of how far we fell, now we're going to have to make a 1.76% move and get back on top of this 534 area to even have this go. Otherwise, your first common retest should be that 534. It's come up there once, well, not quite. It kind of made a W. And then this should be our retest 534 with how we came down. We have plenty of room with the RSI to come up to that 534. I'd be a little surprised if it doesn't hit there at least. 5 minutes starting to work its way back up. 3 minute working its way back up. 1 minute. So I always like to look at the shorter time frames to see how it's going to react in the longer. Looks like it wants to come up. Could be a little topping here, but it looks like it wants to come up. It looks like we're going to try to react to 534 today and see what happens. If these areas fall bearish, and we do lose this support line that we have right now at around the 524, because we came right down to that 524 after we lost the 534. So I mean, it's doing exactly what we thought. So if it did break this, then obviously 497 or 50 cents would be the next obvious choice. So the fact it rotated down to support is a fantastic thing. That's what we want. The only other option was to rotate back up and get rejected before we came back down here. We decided to just break down. That's what we wanted. We created the little rotation for a W reversal. Actually makes me pretty happy this morning. So we're going to have to watch this in a rotation. But right now, I'm liking the fact that we came back down to support. The only question is how long is it going to take for us to rotate now? If we take a look at the DXY this morning, and everybody knows why PAXG wasn't worth holding over the weekend, but we talked about buying it back when the week started. Once we found our price, that's why. That's why. It looked like it was on a bearish turn. So we took our little profit, and now we have to wait for the re-entry. We'll talk about that in the midday market report today. The last thing I want to look at is the DXY, because I had an anticipated pull down, if it was going to hold, would be right around 102.84, and that's where you see this target at, just in case it does hold that on a retracement that comes down there. Now, like we talked last week, it doesn't even have to come all the way down there. And it could just work its way back up into here. And let's just say, let's clone this real quick, just in case it does move up without continuing this correction. I think it's always nice to, come on, to pin this, let's just say from the 20-day, just in case. So if it comes down to the 200, you'd be looking at 104. Maybe this will push us up to like 104.54 if it were to break there. But yeah, that's just what I'm looking at. If the DXY decides to go up, obviously crypto is recovering still, and precious metals. But the moment that this starts to reverse back, you're going to see a big rally for commodities, I believe. It's just, we're heavily in the neutral area now, so it's not like we have to give back. We did start a death cross, though, in the daily. We're looking for rejection, like I've said before. This was our technical move up for rejection, the 103.80 area, which we've hit. And if it does double top here, it could be pretty interesting for risk assets, because this still looks like it could come down more. It's just, we are bouncing off a golden cross in the 4-hourly, as we have a death cross in the daily for rejection. So this is one of those things. What's more accurate, the golden cross in the 4-hourly or the death cross in the daily? I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this update, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this on social media. Consider sending a little pay it forward moment, whether that's joining Tom's Army, whether that's sending a YouTube super chat, or whether that's simply hitting the like and share button and allowing this community to grow, not just through the analytics or because of the algorithm, but because of word of mouth and the fact that you're showing such support for the community because you appreciate what I do each and every day. And we're a loving community. We don't play the victim here, we play the winner. And we do not get caught up in the emotional tugs. We pay attention to the facts. If you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto, video description below, you can trade the way I do, MEXC and or BITUNIX. Easiest ways right now in the USA plus worldwide. Lowest spot fees on spot trading and leverage trading. Have a blessed morning, everybody, and I'll catch you this afternoon. Stay positive. Remember, hashtag be better, do better. Hashtag fight assassins. Remember, help one person each and every day, because if I don't do my part and you don't do your part, it's going to be a slippery slope, and we're going to be well behind the agenda here, because there's an awfully big one going on behind the scenes.